One of my earliest memories is of my father sitting in the passenger seat of Mr. Chen's Buick. My dad was a businessman, my family American living abroad in China, and Mr. Chen was my family's personal chauffeur, hired by my dad's company to drive us around Shanghai. My father turns around to look at me and my older brother, who had recently graduated from sitting in a booster seat. My dad reveals to my brother and I the Nintendo Wii he bought for us. We're overjoyed. We get back to our apartment in the small little American enclave of Shanghai, and my brother and I stare at the box and the games that come with it. Wii Sports, Wii Play, Mario Kart Wii with steering wheel and all. We rip open the box and play and play and play. On every street corner near our Shanghai apartment were men selling bootleg DVDs. You could buy full seasons of The Simpsons and Friends if you wanted, but my family never stopped to look at these offerings. There was, however, a bootleg video game store about a mile from our abode. On special occasions, my mom would walk my brother and I to the store. These walks became special outings for us. We would walk in, and the same man that was there every time would remember our faces, greeting us the same way every day. My brother and I would scan his selection, and after discussion, select a game for about 50 yuan. On one particular day, my brother and I walked in, and after much deliberation, we made a decision. We would be buying Super Mario Galaxy. We bought it and brought it home and booted it up. And so began my infatuation with Mario. The two of us would get the second game from that same bootleg shop when it came out. Past the Galaxy games, we'd buy Super Paper Mario, Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Mario Party 8. My 6th birthday party was Mario themed, and my mother put on the old Mario Brothers cartoon for me and the other kids to watch. My best friend at the time, Alex, also had a Mario themed party the same year. In fact, that's probably where I got the idea from. His family had a large, tiered cake made with different layers representing different worlds on Super Mario Bros. Wii. All of this is to say, Super Mario Galaxy and the Mario franchise by extension were a huge part of my childhood. Mario is a huge part of my life today. Like most others, the first game I had on the Switch 2 was Mario Kart World. I was elated when the Super Mario Galaxy movie was announced, arguably more elated than I was for the Switch 2, and that excitement materialized in the form of daydreaming. How much would the movie adhere to the plot of the games? What galaxies would be in the movie? Would I get to hear Bowser's Galaxy Generator or the World S theme on the big screen? I knew that the Super Mario Galaxy movie couldn't encapsulate every little crumb of what made the game so special to younger me, but I knew it could do a lot. And it did. Tons. But the cash grab nostalgia the film did utilize was an ersatz, jumbled up mess. The plot, lack of proper story structure withstanding, includes Peach's castle being abducted, the Mario Bros heading to both the Honey Hive and Space Junk galaxies, and a host of Mario Galaxy species, but they've been altered and watered down from their original video game appearances. In Super Mario Galaxy, the Space Junk galaxy is remote, empty, lonely, and ultimately just one small stop on Mario's journey to save Peach. The appearance of Space Junk Galaxy in the movie is the antithesis of its atmosphere in the game. It's busy, full of life and innovative, not junk. The same goes for the Honey Hive Galaxy, a friendly and hopping place in the game that the movie redefines to be hostile to our protagonists. The ever-familiar plot to save Peach is discarded in favor of saving Rosalina, completely undermining the important role Rosalina plays in Mario's journey during the first game. There's no denying that the source material is present throughout the film, but the tweaks made for the cinematic experience have left the movie devoid of the game's zeitgeist. It's as if they threw bits and pieces of the game into a bowl and mixed it, creating a new, hodgepodge, non-harmonious clump of nostalgia. The movie utilizes references and Easter eggs as a crutch, while simultaneously deviating heavily from the story structure and world building of Galaxy, similar to other adaptations like Percy Jackson and World War Z. I'm not sure why the movie largely omits Rosalina's impact and important galaxies from the plot. The story of the games are not complex, the games are E for everyone, digestible for the child mind. Perhaps in a media landscape saturated with short-form content, the creators felt it necessary to further simplify the plot, but the equal and opposite reaction is a disappointment from older fans expecting the story to adhere to the games. In addition to relying on this false nostalgia from the Galaxy games, the movie incorporates elements from Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Maker, Super Mario Land, and even other Nintendo franchises. What results is a lack of cohesion. The realistic dinosaur scene on Fossil Falls mismatches the aesthetic of the movie. Birdo and Wart feel out of place. It's just a mess. Furthermore, references to other games and media absorb much of the runtime, meaning that there isn't much time for the film to be faithful to the Galaxy games. We spend 15 to 20 minutes on a Mario Odyssey-inspired planet that could have been better spent on the Battle Rock, Beach Bowl, Gusty Garden, Shiverburn, or Cosmic Cove galaxies. On that point, our protagonists barely visit any of the galaxies from either game, stripping the movie of what made the game so special. Toy Time, Freeze Flame, Wild Glide, Melty Molten, Boom Moon, the opportunities were endless for unique galaxy-related content. What if the group took a loop-de-loop galaxy-style waterway from one galaxy to another? What if they went down that giant slide from Tall Trunk Galaxy and ended up somewhere else? The lack of galaxy inclusion doesn't hurt as much as the potential these galaxies had to make an entertaining film. Beyond the flawed immersion into the world of Super Mario Galaxy and the feature's reliance on other Mario Easter eggs, there are 5 Smash Bros. Characters that appear. Little Mac, Rob, Olimar, Mr. Game & Watch, and, of course, Fox McCloud from Star Fox. I remain ambivalent towards these inclusions, and I know opinions are divided among other fans. On one hand, the runtime that Fox took up could have been spent on Lubba or the Chimp, neither of whom made the cut. Less Fox also could have meant more Rosalina, which was sorely needed given that she's arguably the second most important character in Galaxy. On the other hand, these characters are cool as hell. Glenn Powell's performance as Fox was amazing, Rob's gag was funny, and Mr. Game & Watch added some dimensionality to the final showdown. The PR team did really mess up revealing that Fox would be in the movie. I can't imagine the absolute fervor that would have washed over the movie theater if we weren't told that Fox was in the movie a week before release. The announcement certainly ruined the surprise. In including characters from other Nintendo franchises, a singular question permeates. Why? The answer is obviously money, but the underlying assumption is that the success of the Super Mario Galaxy movie might open the floodgates for new content. Are we going to get a Nintendo's version of the MCU or a Super Smash Bros. Movie? A new Smash Bros. Game? A new Star Fox adventure? New Game & Watch content? Okay, the last one is unlikely, but if the Mario Galaxy movie moves the needle on making any of these happen, I'm fine with the incorporation of other franchises. At least there's an opportunity for the appearance of Little Mac and Olimar to create demand for new games. The references to Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario Land lack similar power, as we are more likely to get a fresh Mario game rather than an expansion on a previous idea. This makes the inclusion of Easter eggs from other Mario games that much more quizzical to me, along with slightly legitimizing the presence of other Nintendo figures. That being said, I'd rather not have these fellas than have them. Through all my complaining, you might have come to the conclusion that immediately following the theater screening, I went back towards the ticket desk, demanded a refund, went home, left a bad review on Letterboxd, drove to California, and burned down Illumination Studios. That's not the case. In fact, I can't even say I hate this movie, because I don't. Mario will always hold a special place in my heart, and simply the chance to see another Mario film on the big screen was a treat. I was awed, brought back to the time my brother and I first booted up Mario Galaxy 1 on our Wii. However, it must be acknowledged that the Super Mario Galaxy movie could have been better, a lot better. It had 91 galaxies to work with and left almost all of them on the cutting room table. Some of the main plot points of the Galaxy games are absent, and it uses other games as a crutch when the Galaxy duology has enough content for 2 films. I didn't like the movie, and I didn't hate the movie, but I did enjoy it. The truth of the matter is that while I have a right to hold these opinions, it doesn't matter what I think. This is a dish made for kids, with only a few spices sprinkled on to make the movie palatable for an adult audience. I will never stop playing video games, Mario, or Super Mario Galaxy, so this movie not appealing to me, an adult and longtime fan, means nothing. What this movie can accomplish, however, is in introducing a new generation of first-time gamers to a franchise, as well as 2 video games I adore. If even one child watches the Super Mario Galaxy movie, goes home, begs their mom or dad or legal guardian for the games on their Nintendo console, and gets to try Super Mario Galaxy out, I'm happy. I get that my beliefs are playing into corporate strategy, and I don't care. The kids need to play Super Mario Galaxy. For as much flack as video games get for being counterproductive to brain development, Super Mario Galaxy has a trove of lessons to teach children. It can teach good story structure, world building, hand-eye coordination, depth perception, and more. Hell, I know that's what it taught me. Every kid that gets off Instagram Reels and jumps into Spin Dig Galaxy is a win for us, society. Let's let our negative opinions and scathing video essays go unheard and discredited. The movie was never going to be Citizen Kane or The Graduate. It was never going to redefine what a good movie is. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece like we want it to be, it only has to be serviceable to the child audience. So let's put our focus into inviting young, brilliant minds into the world of Mario games. I'm not saying we can't critique art made for children, but we need to remember that the next generation is on YouTube watching us. Our criticism must be clear, rational, and objective, justified. Let's let kids enjoy what's made for them while being clear on how a flawed product such as the Super Mario Galaxy movie can be improved upon for future generations.
Luigi, you're so freaking sexy. And you've got me in a trance, so Bowser doesn't stand a chance. Go save the day.